Okay, be honest with me. How many times has this happened to you? You're scrolling online, you see something, a new gadget, a fancy kitchen tool you'll use twice, yet another subscription box for curated happiness. It's not a giant purchase. It's just $75, $120, $199. And you have that internal dialogue. You think, it's fine, I worked hard this week, I deserve it. It's not like I'm buying a car, so you click buy now. The dopamine hits, package arrives. The thrill lasts about as long as it takes to unbox it. Then, 3 days later, you're checking your bank account, seeing all these little charges, and you get that sinking feeling. Where did all my money go this month? I don't even have anything to show for it. You feel like you're treading water, working just to pay for stuff you barely remember buying. That right there? That's the leak in your financial boat, and most people are just trying to bail the water out faster instead of plugging the hole. My name is Rob, and I spend way too much time thinking about the tiny, seemingly innocent decisions that completely derail people's financial futures. If you're someone who feels like you make decent money, but never seem to get ahead, who's tired of that nagging guilt after impulse spends, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, we get bombarded with advice about the big things. Invest in your 401k, save for a house, don't buy the latte. Okay, but what about the $200 wireless headphones, or the $150 self-care weekend splurge, or the $80 a month you're spending across 4 streaming services you don't even watch? We're never taught a simple universal filter for every single spending decision we make, until today. I'm going to give you one rule, a single, stupidly simple question to ask yourself before you spend a single dollar. I call it the $1,000 rule. And if you apply it, I can almost guarantee it will prevent 90% of the bad money decisions you're currently making on autopilot. Here's the rule. Ready? Before any non-essential purchase, ask yourself this: would I still buy this if it cost $1,000? That's it. That's the whole rule. Now, you might be thinking, Rob, that's ridiculous. Of course I wouldn't buy a $75 shirt if it cost $1,000. What's the point? Here's the point. And this is where most people's financial logic breaks down. We judge small purchases by their immediate, one-time cost. We don't judge them by their true, long-term opportunity cost. You see a $75 shirt and you think, do I have $75? But you should be thinking, is this shirt worth $1,000 to me? Because over time, that's exactly what it might cost. Let's do the math that your brain is wired to avoid. Humans are terrible at what economists call hyperbolic discounting. We value $75 today way more than $75 a year from now. So I need to make this future cost feel real. Let's take that $75. Seems harmless, right? But are you a person who tends to make a few of these harmless purchases a month? Let's say you average just 4 of these $75 it's fine spends per month. That's $300. Now, let's assume you're a relatively young viewer, say 30 years old, and instead of spending that $300 a month, you invested it in a boring broad market index fund. The historical average return of the S&P 500 is about 10% per year before inflation. Let's be conservative and call it an 8% annual return. If you took that $300 per month, the money you're currently leaking on stuff that doesn't matter, and you invested it from age 30 to age 65, $300 per month at 8% return for 35 years. That money would grow to over $700,000. Let me say that again. 4 little, it's just $75 purchases a month, redirected into investing, could be worth $750,000 by the time you retire. That is the $1,000 cost of your $75 shirt. You're not just spending $75, you're spending a future $1,000 or more of potential wealth every single time. This is where it gets really interesting. The rule works backwards too. When you see something for $1,000, you instinctively apply scrutiny. You research, you wait, you ask, do I really need this? The $1,000 rule forces you to apply that same level of high-stakes scrutiny to the small, insidious purchases that fly under your radar. Here's what most people don't realize. Companies know all of this. Their entire pricing strategy is built around exploiting this bug in your brain. They use something called price anchoring. They'll show you a $500 item, then put it on sale for $199. Your brain isn't comparing $199 to $0. It's comparing it to $500. You feel like a genius saving $301. You're not thinking, would I spend $1,000 on this? You're thinking, look at this amazing deal. They also use the pain of payment reduction. Clicking Buy Now with one-click Amazon checkout or tapping your phone with Apple Pay, that creates almost zero psychological friction. It doesn't feel like spending real money. It feels like a game. The $1,000 rule reintroduces the friction. It forces a pause. It's a cognitive speed bump that makes your rational, long-term thinking brain catch up to your impulsive, dopamine-chasing brain. Think of it like this. Your impulsive brain is a toddler in a candy store, screaming, "I want it now." Your rational brain is the tired parent. The $1,000 rule is you, as the adult, picking up that toddler, walking to the window, and pointing outside. Look, see that college campus over there? That candy bar costs 1 brick in that library. Do you really want to eat a brick? Now, you might be thinking, Rob, this sounds miserable. Does this mean I can never enjoy my money? Am I just supposed to live like a monk and save every penny? Look, no, that's not the point at all. In fact, this rule is meant to do the opposite, to free you to spend on what actually brings you joy. The rule isn't don't spend money. The rule is spend a lot of money on the few things you truly love and spend almost nothing on everything else. Let me give you a real example from my life. I love espresso. A truly great home-brewed espresso. A top-end home espresso machine costs a lot, over $1,000. Using the old me logic, I'd say, that's insane. I can't spend that on coffee. But if I apply the $1,000 rule in reverse, I was easily spending $6 every weekday at a coffee shop. That's about $120 a month, or $1,440 a year. Over 10 years, that's $14,400 on okay-ish coffee, plus countless minutes in line. The $1,000 plus machine. It pays for itself in under a year. I get better coffee at home, on my time. The per joy cost plummets. The machine passed the $1,000 rule test because I knew its true long-term value. So here's your actionable takeaway starting right now. For the next 30 days, implement the pause. Before any non-essential purchase, anything that's not groceries, utilities, true essentials, ask the question, would I buy this if it cost $1,000? Just asking the question will stop 50% of impulse buys dead in their tracks. Track the saves. Open the Notes app on your phone. Every time you want to buy something, ask the question and decide not to. Write down the item and the amount. Don't even add it up yet. Just list it. Fast fashion shirt, $65. Takeout because I'm lazy, $35. Random Amazon gizmo, $22. At the end of the month, add it all up. I want you to physically see the monthly total of the leaks you plugged. For most people, it's a number between $200 and $500. Now, multiply that by 12. That's your annual leak. Now, look at that number and say to yourself, this is what's standing between me and my first $10,000 invested. Between me and a real vacation paid in cash. Between me and peace of mind. This is where the magic happens. This rule isn't about deprivation. It's about intention. It trains your brain to see money not as something to be spent, but as something to be deployed. Every dollar you don't waste on something meaningless is a soldier you get to send into battle for your future. It gets to go to work for you, in an index fund, in a high-yield savings account, in a skill-building course. The $1,000 rule flips the script. It stops you from asking the powerless question, can I afford this right now? It forces you to ask the powerful ownership question, is this worth stealing from my future self? Because that's what you're doing. You're not spending $75. You're stealing $1,000 from the 65-year-old you who just wants to be secure, maybe travel a little, and not be a burden on their kids. Look, I know this sounds simple, it is. The most powerful tools always are. Your assignment is the next 30 days. Just try the filter, see what happens. I want you to feel that moment of power when you walk away from a cleverly marketed, perfectly priced impulse buy. That's the feeling of you taking control. If this video helped reframe how you look at every single spending decision you make, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps more than you know. And if you want to go deeper, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. In the comments, I want to know, what's the first thing you're going to apply the $1,000 rule to? A subscription? An impulse buy habit? Let me know. My name is Rob. Thanks for watching. Now go build a future your current self will thank you for.